All right, we got this started, dude.
Finally,
Uh,
I know this has been a couple weeks coming now. We are getting started week two, or I guess going into week three of the season, not week one like we originally envisioned.
yeah, you know what? Week one, nobody really cares about week one. It was pretty much preseason for everybody. But
That's true.
we're trying to do something here for everyone. Just kind of giving some fun little callbacks to like what happened the week before and looking ahead to the weeks coming up here. Just trying to, have some fun. Just have some fun.
Yeah. So just
Yeah.
as an kind of intro for everybody, this is the Toolshed Fantasy Football League. This is our 13th season doing this, if I'm not
Oof.
mistaken. Our league has gone from 10 teams to now 14. We expanded to the 13th and 14th teams this season. So if you would just let me welcome back our friend Gage and newcomer Billy Weaver to the league. There are two
Yeah.
new expansion teams for the 24 season. So
Hey, what
welcome to
up,
them.
Billy,
And
man? I haven't
yeah,
seen you since high school, I don't think. It's
so
been a
we'll hope to
while.
maybe so we'll
Good
hope
to
to
see you
maybe have
again.
one or both of them on here at some point to talk about their team, see how things are going. But
Yeah.
I think what we really wanted to do, Adam, is just kind of look at the week behind, the week ahead, look at some power rankings, and see how things are shaping up. We're still early in the year, but have a little bit of fun, talk about everybody's team, spotlight a couple of things, and um, go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like welcome to the first annual episode, can you call it an annual if it's the first one?
I think the other 12 guys in the league will dictate if it's going to be annual or not. So we'll
That's
see what
true. That's true.
we'll see what their feedback is, and
The last time we tried to do something annual, I think it was the first annual Blau Cressley tennis tournament.
that is the second time in 48 hours that has been brought up because
No shit.
I actually talked about that with our friend Jim or Team Zegama Beach yesterday.
Zegama Beach. Well, there you go. I think we've put it into the universe, and now that's probably going to happen too.
There you go.
There you go. Well, you know what? Why don't we do something here? How about we take a look what's going on behind the tool
The tool
shed?
shed.
Yeah, you were supposed to say it with me right there, but that's all right.
I
That was
did
the
say
first
it.
try. You said,
I was a little delayed. I'm sorry.
all right. So let's get into it here. Um, week two was pretty crazy. A bunch of shit happened. A bunch of players went down. Tua Tagovailoa or whatever. Fuck Tua, just Tua. We'll just call him Tua.
Tua. Yeah.
Tua. He went on. He's on IR, which I think stands for instant retirement. So,
I mean, he has to retire, right? I mean,
all right. Who did anyone have him starting? I can't remember.
yes, I
Let's go
believe there
through.
was. I was looking
Oh yeah,
through.
Craig did.
It was Craig. Unfortunately, the old musket. Um,
Oh man,
had
that's
two on
tough.
his team, and that I don't want to say that's what ultimately caused him to lose to Inspector Gadget plays last week, but certainly contributed to it. There was about a 20-point gap between Craig and Anthony this week, so two is in that whole
Yeah.
game. Maybe
Hey.
maybe he does come back and win, but hate to speculate.
I yeah. Well, I will say that even though he was fucking freaking knocked out, I don't know. Are we gonna be dropping the f bombs here? We're all men, right?
Yeah, there's no kids listening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Uh, even though he went out, he got 8.95 points total for Craig. He still beat Matt Stafford that I had starting,
Oh,
who played an entire game. So fuck me, I
yeah, and
guess.
you had a rather challenging week yourself.
Oh,
Number one going up against the top point scorer in week two, being
unfreaking
Trevin or
believable.
illegal touching. And it seems like, his starting quarterback, Kyler Murray, I think had over 40 points in week two, and he was the high scorer. So,
I feel like I was illegally touched.
well, and the part
That
that
shouldn't have happened.
yeah, I know. And I imagine, the part that I'm sure you're frustrated about is Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns last week, had
I,
48 points for you,
how do you
and
lose when you're when one of your own players has 4 freaking touchdowns in one game? Unbelievable. Yeah, I felt so good going in to the afternoon games. I was like, damn, this is gonna go great. This is perfect. Then the afternoon games start, and I feel like in the first 5 minutes, Kyler Murray hooked up with Marvin Harrison for 3 touchdowns, and that was it. That was it.
you were screwed. Yeah,
I was screwed.
that
Oh
was
man.
that was a tough week, and it even if I recall the group text correctly, I think it even encouraged Gage to potentially change his team name to Trevin Top Billy Bottom, since Trevin was so dominant
Yeah.
in week 2.
And I will say that, typically, the high scoring games, in our league are anywhere between 130, 150 at the most, usually. There have been
Usually,
like some 170s and all that, but very rare. I don't think I've ever seen a 200.
it's maybe happened once or twice outside of what
Yeah.
Trev did on Sunday. But to credit where it's due, he had a big week, and we'll see if that momentum continues. I think and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, but I think Trev had the biggest shift in his power ranking from week 1 to week 2.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. That was nasty. That was a nasty win. You son of a bitch. But I felt okay about my team until I learned that Debo Samuel is now hurt, so he's out.
So there
And
are so many. Yeah, going back to that, there's so many injuries. McCaffrey's out. I know.
mhm.
JJ is pissed.
I would be
Uh,
too, man. How? Listen, he's like, I made a mistake by draft. You did make a mistake. You can't not draft him first overall if you get the chance. It's
right. Cooper
man. That's
Cup
just
got hurt
yep.
this week. So there's a lot of people going down, a lot of injuries, and with a 14 team league, you have to be very strategic with who you pick,
That's
especially
true.
in
That's true.
those waiver wire pickups, because the talent isn't able to be spread around as much as it was the last few years.
Yeah, that's true. It makes things definitely interesting with how you're gonna fix your lineup with injuries and all that. So
So yeah, I think
yeah.
in the coming weeks, I think we're gonna see some trades. I know there was a trade just there was it today? Yeah,
it,
today.
it was
It just
accepted yesterday,
Yeah,
and
just
it went through
processed
today.
about an hour ago.
Man, I am a trade machine. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's only been
so
2 trades. It's just been me
hey,
both times.
that's
That's
what
all
you have to
right.
do in a league this big. You got to make some trades and see,
Yeah,
what's
I
the best fit
encourage
for your
it for
team.
everyone. You know what? I know we all put money down on this, but fucking have fun. Don't take it too serious. You know,
That's that's the point. Hey, it's
mix it
just a
up.
good way to stay connected and talk shit on your friends. So
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
yeah,
so yeah, my game against Trevin. Congrats to you, Trevin. Let's take a look at your game. Brian Exotic versus the Lone Rangers, Sean Hatrack, I like to call him.
team named after an old comrade of ours who has
Mm-hmm.
since left the league
He took a knee to the knee.
for his own principles. He saw a knee being taken several years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
hasn't watched football since. So
He ducked out.
more respect to him, and but we'll continue to keep his memory going with naming a team after him. But yeah, it was a interesting matchup with Sean this week.
Yeah.
Sean's one of our most consistent people. He's typically at the top of the league most
Yep.
every year. So we had a good matchup. I was lucky enough to pull out the victory. I was scared there at the end. My team didn't perform all that great. I had some nice showings from
No, you got Devonta Smith.
Devonta
Yeah.
Smith. I got lucky, and I think Sean had Jalen Hurts. So any play that went to Devontae Smith, we both kind of canceled each other's points out. So yeah, I was fortunate there. But
That is a good point.
Sean's a
Yeah.
tough matchup.
He is. Yeah, he's got a good team. And well, and this is something I noticed too, because I just remember from the draft, you got Sam Laporta, the tight end for Detroit, and he was ranked number one, for the tight ends. And then I had originally taken Kelsey, both of those, it could have gone either way, with number one, number two, whatever. But I know Kelsey has not produced. Did Sam didn't do very good this game. Was he good for you the first week?
Sam has been he has not been overly great. He's not performed well. He has no excuse either. At least Travis Kelce has somewhat of an excuse to aid in his performance. His future wife, we'll see, is at every one of his games. So he can be he's likely a little distracted, but Sam Laporta's not getting that kind of action. So his head better be back in the game.
Yeah. Is this like a tight end thing, like all over? Because I know my tight ends that I currently have not produced. Maybe it's just not a tight end year yet,
Maybe it's not. Maybe we're still getting into it. Maybe the league is maybe the NFL shifted, but let's hope that some of these players we spent early draft picks on will start to pick it up here.
Yeah. How you feeling about Travis Etienne Jr.?
I think he's shit.
Good pick.
I shouldn't say that because I'd like to trade him, but now that I said he's shit, it's going to ruin his value. So maybe you can edit that out.
I'll go back.
No, you can keep it in. It's fully transparent. I think I took a high draft pick on him, higher than I probably should have, but he's hit or miss. I don't know that.
Oh yeah, you were second round on him, I see.
Yeah, I don't know that the Jaguars are a good team, so it'll be interesting to see where his year goes.
Yeah. Well,
same with Ja'Marr Chase. He's his contract situation. He doesn't seem like he's been targeted very much, and he had a rough couple weeks as well. So
I think when T. Higgins comes back, he'll help draw some of the coverage away from Ja'Marr Chase. So you got that
very
going.
Great point. It seemed to be the last couple weeks kickers. Kickers seem to be. I know in the Steeler game week 1,
they're the ones winning the games.
Boswell had 6 touchdowns. Justin Tucker consistently putting them in from 50 plus yards, even though the Ravens stink.
Yep.
Sorry, Xander had to take that shot.
Oh man, yeah.
Our resident Ravens fan. So, but even kickers, because the offenses, for a lot of teams have been subpar.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what week 3 takes us.
Well, you did eke out a win against him, and Brandon Ayuk on Sean's team. If he would have stepped in, and he hasn't been producing either, I don't think. This is fine by me because I'm a Deebo Samuel owner. So,
but now Deebo Samuel's hurt out for several weeks. So
I got the guy that's getting called up to be like. So I'm feeling okay.
Good.
He's probably gonna suck, but all right. So okay, good win, man. Welcome to the 1-1 club.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Brian up every year in the middle of the pack.
Okay, so on my screen at least here, what do we got? Let me look at. I've got to go back to week 2 here. Old Musket versus Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. He won. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anthony.
Big win for Anthony. He was he had the least amount of wins in our league last year, so good early season win. Craig.
There you go.
Craig usually puts on a tough matchup, so big win for Anthony. Congratulations to him, and see if he can build some momentum here going into week 3.
Yeah. Craig, there's Tua right there for him. That's where that hurt him. And then also the Cowboys getting him a -1 point, man. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Who saw that coming with the Saints and Derek Carr? We talked about Kamara earlier, but Derek Carr looks like
he's in his zone. This is where he needed to be. Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I hate to say that the Saints are legit, but they look it so far.
And Jimmy, I remember after the week one games, I remember texting Jimmy. I said, "Hey, you should probably see if you can target Derek Carr because he didn't have. I think he was rolling with Russell Wilson at one point. So and good for him for getting him picked up off of waivers in between the first and second week. So
Yeah, it was a huge pickup for Jimmy because Jimmy, I believe, was the second highest point scorer week 2. Yeah, 162.8
damn,
points against Xander.
yeah,
So yeah, he had a big showing from Derek Carr.
yeah. Well, Anthony, he won with Brock Purdy doing pretty good for him, and James Conner 20.4 points overall. Brock
Ooh.
Bowers, who the hell's that guy? There's the tight end that's actually doing shit.
Yeah, Brock Bowers had a huge game. He caught everything thrown his way on Sunday, and unfortunately for Anthony, though, he has Pacheco who just went on the IR with a broken leg as well. So
Yeah.
he's going to have to make some adjustments this week too.
Well, if you check the trade report, I might have he and I might have made a trade to maybe help his running back situation and help my wide receiver situation. So we'll
So more
see.
to come. We'll see how
We'll
that
see.
plays out here this week.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good job, Anthony. Way to go on that win. Craig,
Congrats, Anth.
sorry, man. All right, next up, here we go. We got the battle of the Billy teams. We got Billy Weaver. Welcome to the league again. Billy's best team versus Billy Top, Trevin Bottom, who might possibly be changing his name versus Gage there. Billy, sorry, dude, couldn't win this one. 80 points just isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, rough week for Billy, especially after he had a big win week 1 against myself. But I
Yeah,
could see this
oof.
being I know Gage and Bill have some history, so I think
Oh no,
this might be a budding rivalry
this
to look at the
this
rest of the
just
year
tipped
here.
towards. Okay. Oof. Yeah. Looking at Billy's points, he got 0 points from Evan Engram, 0 points from Keon Coleman. That's rough. I'm sorry. That sucks. Ah.
But look at the story of the kicker. Kai
Yep.
Fair, I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not
Boom.
even gonna try to.
Fairbone. Yeah.
20 points.
Kaimi. Yeah. Woof. Kaimi. Damn. 20 points. That's a good kicker right there. That might
Yeah.
be the number one kicker now.
Yeah, Justin Herbert didn't look well, but I think he got hurt too. I think he has a an ankle injury coming into
Oh.
Pittsburgh this Sunday. So
Okay. Okay.
something to
Oh.
think about. Look, something to think about going
Ooh.
forward.
Ooh. Yeah. And Gage is feeling good about Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's getting 23.65 points. That's not terrible.
Yeah,
Not bad,
reclamation
right?
project Baker Mayfield. Good start.
Uh-huh.
Good
Yep.
start by Gage there. Helped him pick up a much needed win.
Yeah. I mean, this if you look at it though, if could have got maybe 10 if Billy had 10 points out of Keon Coleman, that would have gave him 90. If he would have gotten another even 10 from Evan Engram, still wouldn't have been enough. Still wouldn't have been
Yeah,
enough.
you got to find a way to score 105, 110 points, minimum, in this league, especially
Oh,
because it's PPR and
yep.
a lot of people draft, folks that are going to catch a lot of balls, and that's what
Billy
Gage kind of showed this week.
Billy had Darnell Mooney on his bench that got 18 points. Oh boy. Would have been helpful,
Yeah,
but I still wouldn't have been enough. Still wouldn't have been enough. Well,
unfortunately, no. Yeah, about a 41 point victory for Billy Top, Trevin Bottom. We'll see if he changes the team name.
yep. Yep. Well, Gage 2-0 so far. Moving on. Moving on. I got Wade Boggs style from Drews and JJ. Oh man. Grace Charis cross pattern. JJ, he's putting up points at least. He had a rough go of it at first, but he's putting up points.
Yeah,
Just not
and
enough.
Drew and Wade Boggs style Drew is he is one of the toughest matchups I think
He is.
people face year over year. So good effort from JJ. Just
That
he
is.
just it was just a Drew had a better week.
He did. He did. And it's hard. Drew. I'm pretty sure his first job is fantasy. Pretty sure he's very religious about you know checking everyone's stats and all that, and I respect him for that. He's really good about it. Um,
Yeah,
somehow,
some of us are true athletes, like yours truly, and yourself, Adam, and
yeah,
some of us are
exactly.
good at the fantasy sports, like Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I've been referred to as the White Heath Miller, so um,
Can attest to
it's
that. I've seen it in person.
in person exactly, and I'm surprised that he was able to win with his top two running backs. Not well, the one scoring only 3 points, the other scoring just under 10. That's wild. You typically don't see a win whenever your top two running backs aren't producing, but his other teammates, came through. Justin Jefferson and Nico Collins. Woof. Good for them.
Yeah, I'll be
And there
honest.
you go. Yeah.
I don't recognize these two running backs that Drew has on his team. So,
Yeah.
credit to him for plugging and playing there. He still got the win, but he's going to need to reevaluate that running back position in the coming
People
weeks.
out there, exactly. If anyone has some running backs and wants to make a trade, I feel like he's a good person to target.
I thought you were going to volunteer for your fourth trade year already. I thought you had something working.
Maybe. But listen, he's 2-0. I don't, Drew, if you're listening right now, I don't think you need a trade yet. So
yeah. Wade Boggs style is a team that I rarely bet against. He has Cooper Kupp, who's going to be out for a few weeks, but Drew of all people seems to find those names that no one else recognizes that are going to go get him 11, 12, 13 points. It wasn't this week, but some of these players that he finds on the waiver wire that score for him and push him into the playoffs. I give him credit there.
I'm telling you, I think I know what his secret is. He's got that subreddit fantasy football he's got notifications turned on for that. So anytime there's a new thing that's out there that everyone's saying, he knows it right away. I think that's what it is.
Staying up to speed. I more respect to him. Something I can't do, but hey, good power to you, Drew.
Yep. Oh, hey, good win. JJ, hey, listen, you're putting up numbers at least. So, you could have beat Billy. You could have beat Craig. You could have beat a couple other guys. So, just went up against the wrong team this week.
Not to rub salt in the wound, but power rankings currently aren't your friend. JJ, you seem to be at the bottom of the barrel there in the power rankings. I know you've had some tough injuries, so let's hope that things turn around for you in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right, next up, I got Zegama Beach Jimmy against Gene's Territory Xander, and there's Jim with the second highest score of the week here, 162.85 to Xander's 108.55. So hey. Good win for Jim right there, bringing him up to 1-1 as well. I feel like this week had everybody who didn't win last week. A lot of you guys won, and a lot of us that won the first week lost.
A lot of 1-1 teams out there this week.
Yeah.
So we'll probably start to see some separation in week 3.
Yep. Well, there's Jim's Derek Carr. Like I said, that was a good pickup for him. He definitely needed an injection for his QB.
He might owe you a draft pick trade for making that suggestion to him.
He might. I feel like he might. He's got Jonathan Taylor from Indy, who's always the past couple years has been a really good workhorse for Indy. So he's scoring. Justice Hill. I think any running back from Baltimore fucking sucks because they're from Baltimore.
They all just tear their ACLs. He'll be on the IR before week 4. I'd be willing to bet.
Mm-hmm. Stephon Diggs isn't doing as good at Houston as he's done for the Vikings and for the other team that he played for. But Chris Godwin, good for Jim on that one. That was a good pickup.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah. Great
top
game.
tight end there too. George Kittle, big game for him.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
He's featured a little more with all those injuries in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think Kittle was like the in the top 3 at the beginning of the season. Like you had Laporta, Kelsey, and George Kittle like were my top 3 that I knew of, you know. So good for him. Good pickup on that. And DK Metcalf going off. 32.9 points.
His six-pack don't lie. I mean, he's out. He's balling. He's out there. He looks good. He could probably play in the NBA too if he wanted.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
There's some big wide receiver performances on both sides. Malik Neighbors for Xander.
Exactly.
Drake London had a decent game. Xander for some reason is still on the Lamar Jackson project. I never understand why. I think he might be the most overrated player in the NFL, but
I think, agreed. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Steelers fan.
No, I'm not saying that either. But I just don't think he's good.
Where did this Malik Neighbors guy come from, though? Like I guess because I didn't really care about the Giants at all. I don't know who does, but like used to be OBJ was the guy to have at the Giants, years back. But Malik Neighbors, good for him. Good game on that. Tyreek Hill, what do you think going on here though? With Tua being out, is that gonna hurt him?
I think Tyreek Hill is gonna. I think last week he was a little shook from his arrest prior to the game.
Yeah.
Or the prior week or whenever it was. I can't even keep the date straight anymore.
Yep.
But I think he's going to catch the ball from whoever throws it his way. He's too fast and he's just going to outrun everybody. So I don't think his stats will be impacted at all.
He'll bounce back. Whoever's going to be a QB for him.
But look at the kickers again. 12 points from Justin Tucker, 15 from McPherson.
They're winning games. They're helping win games.
Another week for the kickers.
Yep. Oh, good win, Jim. Hope you can keep those numbers up. I don't think Jim ever won a season.
I would have to go back and check the archives. I'll be honest. I started doing that a couple of weeks ago, and I got completely distracted. I was trying to put together a list of past champions and how many folks have had more than one. I know the data's there. I just have to go back and dig it up.
Okay. All right.
Well, I know he's been in contention for
luck.
sure. Last year, I think he split 2 years ago, when the injury happened to Damar Hamlin, and that game got called between the Bills and Cincinnati, and him and Adam Petrin and Jim were in the championship game. And they agreed to split the winning. So technically, he's been at least a co-champion.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Well, hey, good win, Jim. Dander, 0-2, man. Let's pump those numbers up. Maybe try changing your quarterback.
Yeah, and I'll just I'm in a league with Xander, and I'm in last place in his league, so he'll laugh all the way to the bank in his other league. So he's not struggling.
Okay. All right. Well, then, who do we have finally here? We got Tony, and Adam Petrin. Yep, Petrin. We got him, and Petrin moves into another 2-0 spot at the moment with a nice win over Tony, who again, like some of the other teams, just couldn't produce any points.
Yeah, rough week for Tony. Outside of Jared Cook having a big game not a lot of his players even got into double figures. Josh Allen had a rough one.
He did.
He had some tough receiving days. One of his receivers, one reception for -3 yards. Tank Dell, great name, bad stats.
Oof, yeah. You want someone with a name like that to have some big stats, man.
Yeah, so yeah, Tony's gonna probably have to be looking for the trade, looking for a trader out on the waiver wire. I don't, his team seems to be struggling right now.
He does, but he's still 1-1. So there's that. But you got Petrin. He had a pretty decent game. He didn't have to work too hard for this win. I'll say that much. How about
He
that?
did not,
That's a good way.
based on the scoring this week, what he did and would have resulted in a loss against a lot of teams. But it all depends on your matchup week over week. So he inked out a victory, and you can't count he was last year's champion,
He
and
was.
prior and 2 years ago the co-champion with Jimmy. So you can't count out the defending champion. So
No, you know
big win
what?
for
And
him.
you know what I think it was, last year he was very vocal about not having loser punishments. So he was so scared of them that he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna beat everybody so that it's not even a problem. So let's not scare him this year either. Okay.
You just think he'd want to back up his winning ways by picking up. We probably would have let the league winner pick the next year's punishment. So, his loss at the end of the day.
I will say too, also at the beginning of last week's Sunday games, I'm gonna put it out there publicly because he and I were texting, and I feel bad. I do for our trade that he and I had before the start of the season, where I traded him Travis Kelsey, and I got Alvin Kamara in return. And Travis Kelsey just hasn't produced, and Kamara is the number one running back in the league at the moment.
Yeah, after 2 weeks, I'd say you fleeced him on that trade.
Yeah, I,
Um, you know, Travis Kelsey, 1 reception, 5 yards
yeah.
last
I
week.
I honestly thought that Travis was going to have another good year. So but listen, we're all friends, and I don't like to do that. I'm not trying to screw anybody over. I'm just so
Each person is free to manage their team as they please. So
okay.
you didn't
All right.
force him to accept the trade.
No, no.
And I think their stats will even
Yeah,
out. Will even
it's
out
two
throughout the
games.
year.
It's two
It's two
games.
games. He's just getting back from traveling in Taylor's private jet to the Eras tour all summer. He's tired. He's just got to get back
Yeah.
into it.
I almost wonder if like he's got a target on his back for being as popular as he is now, not just within the football world now, and everyone's like, well, I'm going to make sure he doesn't get a touchdown or something like that, so they double cover him and all that, that
I
might be
think
part of it.
everybody
I
wants to
don't
get a shot at him now. I think you're right,
exactly.
including
So,
Pfizer. If you didn't see that he sold out to Big
oh
Pharma,
no, there we go, there we go.
we'll leave
Well,
it at that.
okay, all right. Well, hey, with that in mind, I'd like to go. I think we have we every one of us. If you look at if you go through the app at least, it gives you like a matchup recap and all that. And so I checked mine out just to see what it said, and I got roasted in this matchup recap. So let me just read you guys my matchup recap here between myself versus Trevin, who got 200 points versus my 137. So it starts off by saying, talk about prolonging the agony. Huck it, chuck it football just kept putting up points and saw other teams across the league doing a lot less. Like, yeah, I know, right? Likely saying to myself, I can do this. Unfortunately for me, I could not do this. Although I put up 137.2 points. Illegal touchings put up 200 on the dot. Yes, unfortunately, 200 is a lot more than 137. So listen, we don't make the rules here. So technically, your commissioner does. Good luck this week against Hucket Chucket football, though. Anyone else coming up here? So yeah, they roasted me on that. But if you take a look at, let's see, what is this here? I think we have the new standings. We have. Do you see that up? Do you want to go over that real quick?
Yeah, I'm looking through them. So yeah, it looks like Drew, Gage, Adam Petrin, all tied at the top 2-0. Looks like Drew has the most points of those undefeated teams.
Hmm.
And then we're looking at, let's see, Trevin, Jimmy, yourself, Anthony, myself, Craig, Billy, Tony, all at 1-1. So
Yeah.
kind of a
Yeah.
huge traffic jam of
Yeah.
people, 1-1 there. Trevin and Jimmy, they're two of the highest scores in the league. They unfortunately had a loss week 1, but their teams are
Yep.
probably the two to beat right now. I'd say Trevin probably would be the week 2 MVP just based on, how many points he scored alone. And then, we have a couple teams at the bottom of the league, Xander,
Yeah.
Sean, JJ. They'll look to get their first victory here in week
Yeah.
3.
Let's do it. Let's get it, guys. I believe in you. I believe in you guys at the bottom there. As long as you're not up against me.
Yeah, why don't we look at, if you have time,
Mhm.
why don't we look at the week 3 scoreboard, just see if there's, a
Yeah.
matchup that intrigues you.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not trying to call my own matchup out, but I have a matchup with one of my arch rivals, Gage. So there'll be some,
Yeah.
there may be some decent banter in the group chat this week. So we'll
Yep.
see where that goes. I'm sure I'll start jagging him the next couple days. But it looks like the one
It's gonna be
I'm
tough.
looking at, and then Adam, I'll give it to you. But Illegal Touching and Zegama Beach are playing each other this week.
That's gonna
Two
be
highest point
interesting.
scores from last week. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see that matchup. We're not at a point where there's any bye weeks yet, so they have their full arsenal of players. So
Yeah.
I would imagine that's going to be a high scoring affair.
They're projected leaders between Trevin and Jim. You got Kyler Murray versus Derek Carr. Both of those are projected in that 25-point range. Then you got CeeDee Lamb and Sam Darnold. Well, CeeDee Lamb's a wide receiver, I guess. Sam Darnold being a quarterback. I believe that Jim is going to make the right call and put Derek Carr in. So it's going to be a close match.
I think you have to keep Derek Carr in there after
Yeah.
what he's done the first 2 weeks of the season.
Exactly.
The matchup on paper looks great. If you were a betting man, it looks like Trevin's about almost minus 12. This could be a coin. This is a coin flip. This one's a coin flip for sure, though.
But the other game to watch, the other teams to watch, Petrin versus Wade Bogstyle.
I think it's true.
Yeah.
Another matchup of undefeated
someone's
teams.
Someone's going down. Unless they tie. There has been a tie, I believe, once or twice.
There was a tie a couple of years ago, so we did put in last year, I believe, decimal point scoring so that you can get partial points, so we don't have to deal with too many ties, because that ended up, I think it impacted the playoffs one year. And so we didn't want to see that happen again. So.
Who would you pick between Petrin and Drew right now? Petrin is technically, if you go by projected total, projected to win, but that never works. Drew's got Patrick Mahomes playing. You got Petrin with as soon as that pulls up, Anthony Richardson. That's a tough. It's tough to say.
I say this with all due respect to Petrin. I don't bet against Drew in fantasy sports.
Yeah.
So if gun to my head and I had to pick somebody, I'm picking Drew in this matchup. I think it's going to be close, but I know Adam's the reigning champion and he has a strong team, but there's something on Saturday night or Sunday morning before the games start that Drew is going to do on the waiver wire, something that's going to push him, to a 2-3 point victory against Petrin in week 3.
I'll tell you what, I'll be the devil's advocate here, and I'll go with Petrin for the win on this one.
Hey, talking points for next week. We'll see. We'll see which one of us comes out on top.
Yeah, and you know what, too? I'm going to say this. Jim's going to beat Trevin because Trevin beat me this week, so.
Yeah, I need him to. I see that one going. I got to take Trev. And Trev's my boy from Bell Township, back to
There
second
you go.
grade. I can't bet against a Bobcat.
We go. Okay. All right. There you go. You heard it here. That's what it is.
Tell me about your matchup this week with Tony.
Oh man, Tony, listen. I'm hoping things work out for me this week here. Tony, I love you, man. But listen, you're going down. You're going down hard. Um, I got I got Joe Burrow playing because listen, he shit the bed for me the first week. So then I played Matt Stafford the second week. Matt Stafford shit the bed for me the second week. So I'm back to Joe Burrow against Washington. It's gonna be good, but I have to wait until Monday night to see what they do. He's
Oh, he
got
has the
Josh
dreaded
Allen.
Monday night game. I
Yeah.
see that.
But then Tony's also got Josh Allen against Jacksonville on Monday night as well. So
Oh, there's two Monday night games this
oh
week. Okay.
yeah. I wonder are they like overseas or something? Because no, they wouldn't because it would be an earlier game because the Buffalo versus Jacksonville game is at 7:30. So I don't know, but I feel pretty good about my running backs, Brees Hall and Alvin Kamara. They're my workhorses for sure. I'm gonna have a shakeup in my particular wide receiver core soon. I think the trade did go through, so but I'm gonna roll with Juwan Jennings from San Francisco, who's stepping up, And I was also surprised. I picked up Zach Ertz, who's technically, according to his point totals, the number 8 tight end. So we'll see how it goes.
He's
I'm
always
hoping.
there. He'll never blow the stats off the page, especially late in his career, but
Yep.
he'll get you a few points. And I'm curious how you feel about Deontay Johnson with Red Rocket taking over
Yeah,
at quarterback in Carolina.
I think it's gonna with Andy Dalton slinging the ball. I still don't feel good about Deontay Johnson yet. I want to give it one game because I'm gonna switch him out. My trade did go through, and on my bench right now, I haven't changed it yet. I've got George Pickens. I traded Najee Harris for George Pickens.
You did. I that completely slipped my mind. So
Boom.
that's someone else's problem.
Exactly. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on Deontay Johnson one more week to see how he does with Carson Palmer, and I'm plugging in George Pickens. I feel like he's going to start to get the ball. I feel like the Steelers are going to be potentially playing from behind against the Chargers, and they're going to start to need to sling the ball more. And I saw a lot of Jaylen Warren during last week's game. So I was like, hey, if Najee is going to sit on my bench, why don't I just trade him for someone that is going to get more touches compared to like Tyler Lockett and Deontay Johnson.
I like it. I like your philosophy there.
Yeah. How you feeling about your game?
I'm always nervous. I'm playing Gage. I'm starting a rookie quarterback. So, Jaden Daniels has been okay for me the last couple of weeks. I took a flyer on him.
Yep.
He could be hit or miss, and I'm a little too afraid to put Trevor Lawrence in at this point. So I'm gonna roll with Daniels another week.
I think you gotta. I think Cincinnati's with Joe. Since I'm rolling with Joe Burrow, I'm hoping he's going to be throwing the ball a little more and taking a lead over Washington. So Washington's going to be playing behind. He's going to be needing to throw the ball more. They're not going to be wanting to run the ball to run the clock out.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that if he's passing the ball, it opens up a little bit. He runs a lot, so maybe get some rushing yards, throw a couple points in there.
Yeah. Maybe Jamar Chase gets a touchdown this week here.
Yeah, I'd love Jamar Chase to get 10 points this week. And that's saying a lot because he's been rough. But ETN, he's I'm hoping for a bounce back game from him. Stevenson's very reliable. Devontae Smith's been very reliable. Let's hope Laporta brings it back. In week 3. Hopefully Goff can connect with him for a touchdown. And this Charbonnet, I think he's gonna be ended up going back on my bench, and I missed out on a lot of points from Smith Jigba last weekend.
Yeah,
So
you did.
I think
Yeah.
I might be putting him back in the flex spot for week 3.
Listen, I've got Tyler Lockett, and I put him down. I put him on the bench because Smith and Jigba. So good luck, man. I'm pull for you. I'll pull for you every week until you go against me.
Yeah, I'm +6. I'm +6 this week, so Gage is projected to win. Still, we'll hope to pull out an upset. I'd
Yeah.
love to go. I'd love to start the first 3
Yep.
weeks of the season 2
I
and 1.
see. I see. For Gage, Joe Mixon's questionable. He's got something tweaked on him. So there
Either
you
that
go.
or he got arrested again.
There you go.
We'll see.
Well, hey, what do you think about this first episode here? I feel like we did a pretty damn good job.
I mean, it's been over an hour, and I feel like we got to
Yeah.
talk a lot about last week. Gave everybody their due, gave everybody their credit where credit's due. Previewed week 3. I think Thursday night we have. Who's the Thursday night game this week? New England New England, New York Jets. We got Aaron Rodgers this week.
Yep.
He's on Gage's bench right now, so I don't know if
Yeah.
we'll be seeing a change there
Wow.
next 16, 18 hours.
Yeah. Hey,
We'll see.
I'm all in on Brees Hall. I had no idea who Brees Hall was when I drafted him. But my buddy at work is a huge Jets fan, and I was telling him whenever I was, when I figured out when I was drafting, he was like, "Dude, go Brees Hall." But he's a Jets fan, so I was like, I don't know. I'll see what happens. And then it was pretty much like, take Brees Hall now or else, you know.
Yeah, he's scary. I think he made the right pick.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I feel good about it. So, hey, we'll see how it goes tomorrow night, everyone. Hopefully, I get this up before tomorrow night. I think I know how to do it. So, yeah,
Yeah, so let us know what you think. Maybe next week, Adam, we'll see if we want to bring a special guest on, somebody else from the league, just kind of give us a little rundown of their team and how they're feeling the first 3 weeks of the season went, and we look forward to recapping some of these games and seeing if some of the predictions we made on week 3 games came true.
yeah, right on. Well, hey, this has been What's Going On. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Behind
The
the tool shed. Yeah, man, that was perfect. That was like
We'll get
perfect.
it. We'll
Hey,
get
man.
it.
Hey, frig off, man.
Yeah, frig off. Get out of here.
Frig off.
Frig off.